Alright, hello guys, welcome back to this channel. So this video is for those that have scored less than 200 in their JAMB. I'm so sorry you have to score low. Don't worry, this is not the end, and I'm here to provide you with your options even if you have scored less than 200. If you have scored less than 200 in JAMB, these are the things you still need to do so that you can get admission in the next admission cycle, which is already starting. So right, I want you to pay attention to this video, and if you're a parent that is watching this video right now, watch this video from the beginning to the end. If you're a student, watch the video, show this to your parents so that they will be able to be committed to helping you get your admission as soon as possible. Without any further ado, I'll be going through the video right now. So the first thing I want to talk about is that JAMB is very competitive and many universities use 200 as their benchmark. So there's no doubt about that. Everybody knows that. So if you score below 200, it doesn't mean that it is over. That's not the end. It just means that you need to look for the alternatives, and that's what I'll be showing you in this particular video, right? So I'll be helping you explore all the different alternatives that are available. Now the options, these are the list of options that you have. So let's say you have picked a university and you intend to go to the university. The first option you have is that remove your mind from going to the university. There's nothing wrong with going to a polytechnic or a college of education. Many of the polytechnic and colleges of education, they allow you to gain admission into their institution even if you score less than 120, right? So 120 and above, most of them allow you to gain admission into the colleges of education and polytechnic. And trust me, there are good and standard polytechnics that you can do your OND and HND and then you go back to SEF. Don't forget that the discrimination between HND and BSc has been dissolved. So wherever HND certificate is standing, the BSc certificate will also be standing in that particular position. So don't give up, just maximize this particular option. So there are different reputable institutions like the Harvard Tech, Federal Polytechnic, Nekede, Kaduna Polytechnic, great for hands-on technical courses, right? Those are different options that you have that you can maximize to be able to gain admission this year. So you don't have any excuse not to gain admission this year. Now the second options you have is that there are other private institutions or private universities. Now these private universities, they are not that they compromise, but they offer admission to students that score below 200, right? So they accept students that score around 140 to 180, right, for some specific courses. Not all courses is allowed. So for instance, if you want to do medicine and surgery, you shouldn't be scoring 180. If you want to do law, you shouldn't be scoring 180. There are some specific courses that you cannot do if you score below 200. But if you score below 200 or 140 to 180, you would be able to do other courses. And some of these universities are Bangkok University, Lead City, Crescent University, the other university. So your choice of university now will be depending on the ones your parents can afford, right? Don't forget that the standard is that the private university are more expensive. Their school fees can range from 500,000 to 2 million naira depending on the course you are doing, right? So if your parents can afford a private university, why not? You can still get admission this year even if you have scored below 200, right? And then federal state university are less expensive compared to private university. And the cheapest universities right now are the federal university. In fact, when I was in school, my first school fees was about 9,000 naira or thereabout for my first year before it was increased. I think it's about 50,000 naira now. So imagine paying 50,000 naira to maybe 100,000 naira at the worst case for a whole year, right? Even primary school, even a private school student pays more than that, right? So these are the options you have. So the next option you have is to, very good, like I mentioned, state universities that accept lower cutoffs. So some of them include, we have Ambrose Ali University, AAU in Edo State, if I'm not mistaken, Lagos State University, LASU, They also accept between 160 to 180 for some specific courses. We also have the Uni Osun. I have a lot of students there who score less than 200 in their JAM and they were given admission. We have Akungba Akoko University. In fact, I have a sibling there who got admission. Okay, she scored more than 200, but depending on the course you are intending to do, you'll be able to get admission into these particular universities, right? So the next option you have, which are the alternative routes. Now, if you don't want to go through all the different options I've given on to you, you don't want to go through the route of getting admission to a federal, a private university, a state university, or all the other options I've given, and you want to maximize other alternatives. Here are the other alternatives that you have. Now, there's what is called the direct entry program that bypass your JAM. So you don't even want to write JAM. I've made several videos about how you can bypass JAM and you don't have to write JAM. JAM is not the only way to get admission into the university, right? Even though it is the joint admission matriculation board, it is not the only option to be able to get to university. Other options you have is the JUPEB. We have JUPEB. JUPEB is an option. JUPEB allows you to be able to go through a program, right? And when you go through the program, you will be able to gain, after you have finished the program, you have gained admission, you'll be able to go through, you'll be able to gain admission into the school, and you'll not be starting from part 1, you're starting from part 2. So in that way, you will not lose time. I don't know if you understand. I've done this for a lot of students in the past. And JUPEB stands for Joint University Preliminary Examination Board. Now, it is a national examination board that is there in Nigeria to provide alternative pathway to direct entry admission into Nigerian university and foreign institutions. So it is not only used by Nigeria universities. So it is 1-year program that focuses on advancing advanced A level, that is advanced level subjects, right? So it is aimed at students who may not have met direct entry requirement through JAM. So if a student if you didn't make your admission requirement through JAM, then you can maximize your JUPEB to be able to gain admission. I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. This is very crucial and very important for you to know. So as parents, you should be looking at what I just mentioned now. Another option is, apart from JUPEB, is what is called the IJMB. Now, IJMB stands for the Interim Joint Matriculation Board. And it is a 9-month advanced level program in Nigeria that allows students to gain admission into Nigerian universities without writing JAM. Do you understand? So it also provides alternative pathway, just like JUPEB, for students who may not have been able to gain admission through the UTME process. So if you didn't get admission through the UTME process, then IJMB is an option for you. Now, one of the major things you understand is that there is a place of acceptance. Which one should you go for? I'll make a video later on to differentiate between IJMB and JUPEB. What I will advise is this: if you are going for JUPEB, that means you are looking for schools that are in the western part of Nigeria. That means, I would say, southern part of Nigeria. That means you are looking at schools in the west, in the Yoruba side, Ondo State, Osun State, Lagos State, and so many other schools, right? JUPEB is very acceptable there. But IJMB is very acceptable in the north. So it is, you cannot just, sometimes some people will just do something and without consultation. And that's why at Charisnova Educational Consult, we make sure that we educate you properly so that you can get admission immediately, right? So IJMB is accepted more in the north. And so if you are looking for schools in Kaduna, Sokoto, Bauchi, and the rest, IJMB is your best bet, right? So the next alternative you are going to be having is what, so apart from the IJMB and JUPEB, another option you have is the pre-degree foundation programs. Now, the pre-degree programs is done by most schools. In fact, that's one of the ways they gain revenue. And when a school offers pre-degree programs, that means you have to stay compulsorily in the school. But this doesn't exclude you from writing JAM the next year. The only thing is that it ups your chances of gaining admission into the university by a large percentage. But the truth is that some people still go through the pre-degree program and still don't gain admission because there are requirements. For instance, they can put a requirement on your total score that you have from the beginning of the program to the end of the program, and if you don't meet the cutoff, your money is going down the drain. So it is important to take note of this. Another thing is that you can carry out change of institution. Do you understand? Change of institution. So you can change your institution or change your course. So if you, for instance, I put it for medicine and you scored 140, my brother, change. Do you understand? You have to change because you can't be able, you know that admission is not going to be secured. So, and you have to be realistic with yourself. For scoring 140, you cannot do medicine with 140. So the best thing you will do is to look for a course within that range and look for a university. There's a brochure that Jamb has provided for you. Go through it and check the prerequisite or requirement of schools and then put in for those requirements. The next options that we have is JUPEB, which I've mentioned, already explained that is an A-level program accepted in over 60 universities. You see that 60 universities accept JUPEB nationwide, right? 60 universities, and that's a very good number. So, but you need to reach out to us at Charisnova Limited, Educational Consult Limited, to be able to help you look for the best school that will suit you based on the course you want to offer and the location you want your child to be or you want to attend. So you book a consultation session, one of our staffs will speak to you, and if you are lucky, I'll be the one to attend to you, and then we'll be able to know how best to discuss with you and then put you through. We also offer tutorials for your students, for your children, online and offline. So the distance is not the barrier. We are located at in Niger State, but this time is not the barrier. We offer tutorials to all our students nationwide, right? So let's proceed with the next thing. So it's a successful candidate will enter into 200 level, and that's what makes this very interesting. It says to IJMB is similar to JUPEB, 9 to 12 months, mostly in the northern Nigeria, which I already explained, organized by Ahmadu Bello universities. It offers direct entry into 200 levels. So pre-degree also, I mentioned, it's 1 year remedial courses for candidates below the cutoff. So that one you are not gaining extra year. You will still have to start from 100 level. It is offered by UI, UNN, OAU, Uniben, so many other universities, right? Change of institution, I already told you, go and change your institution however you can. You can reach out to us for that, right? Many schools accept 150 to 180, so you switch to that particular university. Now, the key advice for students scoring below 200, don't give up, please. You have to wait for another year. So if you don't give up, you can still wait for another year if you are not interested, right? But you need to be prepared, and that's why I will advise you to join the group below in this video to be able to attend classes that will allow you to be able to score. So if you want to do law, for instance, in a university, I will advise you to just hold on and read to score 270, 300 in your next JAMB, right? Explore affordable private university or polytechnics, or use the change of institution option, right? So here's my number. My number will be in the description below. You'll be able to send us message so that we can attend to all your needs. I hope this video has been very helpful to you. I've been able to mention all the different alternatives and options you have to be able to gain admission this year. And if you are not willing to gain admission this year because of your score, you can also explore the other alternatives by attending our tutorial centers, both online and offline, and do that right now and reach out to us, right? My name is Akingola Ezekiel, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. See you. Bye.